Hello everybody. We're going to start a brand new series today. I haven't done a series in a while. I've been doing a lot of odds and sods videos, and I've got quite a few projects that I'm working on at the same time. But I do want to start a series and follow through on something from start to finish with you. And you're looking at it. It's a Hallicrafters S38B. And this is a shortwave radio. It's a smaller one. I think it's an entry-level model. And not as big as the usual boat anchors, but I got turned on to this because of the other Hallicrafters radio that I received. Thought about how cool these things are and said this is a really nice thing to try to restore. Got this one on eBay for $19, and I think it was $15 shipping, so very inexpensive. And just to run you through a little bit, I haven't opened it up yet. I have no idea what it looks like inside. But you've got your typical tuning knob. Don't know if those knobs are original or not. I'll have to find that out. And I've got a band spread, which is here. I've got an AM and a CW. I'll have to figure out what CW is. Something wave. Speaker and headphones. Or, yeah, I guess headphones. I've got my band selector. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got a volume knob, which is flopping in the breeze. And I've got a receive and a standby. Pretty simple. The case is in decent shape. It's got original decals on it. It's green, and the dial light itself is a nice shade of green. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's got that Coke bottle kind of look to it. And all the dial string is working, obviously, because that's moving. And just to flip it around the back, let's see what we have back here. Pretty standard stuff. Someone did cut off the power cord. There's a little bit of something that's dripped on here, but I can clean that. There's my antennas. Antenna 1, antenna 2, and ground. This is where the phones plug in, right there. That's pretty much it back there. On the bottom, I do have the original labels. So there's the Hallicrafter S38B, 105 volts, 125 volts, 30 watts. And I've got a portion of this. Let's take a look at some of the specs on this thing, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go next. For those of you that want to try to restore one of these, if you go to Nostalgia Air and go to Resources, you should be able to go down to Hallicrafters, which is how I found this one. And where are we? There we are. And it's a model S38B, and you'll see right away that there's a model S, 38A, B, and C, and I assume they're all revisions. Mine is a B. Let's take a look at what we have here. So you'll see it's a 4-tube plus rectifier radio, 5-inch permanent magnet speaker, 3.2 ohms on the speaker, has an external antenna, manual tuning, it's got frequency range. Sorry about that, my battery died on my camera. So I've got my tuning range and the frequencies. All right, there's 550 kcs. The intermediate frequency is 450. Let's see what else is important here. This is an important one. The 4 rubber grommets insulate the chassis from the cabinet. Check the condition of these and replace if necessary. That's good for me to know when I get in there. I'm sure those things are probably old and had to be replaced. I've got the antenna alignment procedure, fairly standard stuff here. These diagrams aren't very good, but you'll see it looks like a relatively simple chassis. There's the bottom side, not a lot going on there, and you'll see the tube complement. It's got a 35Z5 GT, 50 LC, 12 SQ7, 12 SK7, and a 12 SA7. Nothing really crazy. Dial lamp. And then I've got some voltages and how to restring the cord. And there's my schematic. It looks pretty straightforward and simple. And I've got a parts list, which is really helpful because it shows me what the values are supposed to be. And that should help me greatly because I believe they have the part number listed on the schematic. For example, let's see, there's R5. Looks like it's 2.2 meg. And if I come here to R5, 2.2 meg right there. Half a watt. So that'll help. Let's take the back off and take a peek inside. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without holding the camera so you can see what's in there for the first time, just like I am. Let's see if we can crack this case open here. see what we have in there. I have to assume that somebody's been in this thing. And by the way, when I take parts off, I always put them in these empty pill bottles. It's one of the advantages of being old and doing this hobby is you probably have empty pill bottles. So we'll take this off and see what's in there. I'm going to guess, because someone cut the cord, that someone has attempted to power this thing up at some point. And my hope, of course, is that they didn't blow the transformer. All right, that's always the fear here, is that someone plugs it in, doesn't know what they're doing, lets it sit there and bake, and pops the transformer. So we'll see if we get lucky on this one. That's going to be part of the series, is to troubleshoot this thing and see what's good and what's bad. Let's see. Here we go. I'll put a light on maybe so you can see. There you go. There's the cover. So chassis looks really clean. Wow, look at that. Not a lot of mess in there. No rust. Very, very cool. And it's got these metal tubes here. Everything seems to be fairly intact. Interesting. Now it looks clean. So the next step is going to be to remove the chassis. In order to do that, let's see, those speaker has to be disconnected to get that chassis out. It looks like they give you enough room to pull it out. Let's see. It's looking to me like these screws here are critical to this problem. So let's take this out. Assume that's a chassis screw. Looks like it's just spinning. Let's see, they got screws in here. Looks like I'm going to have to replace all the rubber feet on this thing, but that's fine. There's one. Let's see what we have here. There's another rubber foot. And we'll take that screw out. So it looks like I don't have to remove the chassis. Looks like it's got a nice asbestos backboard there. That's always fun. Let's see. So, what's this here? Interesting. So it looks like someone soldered a pair of wires here which go to the phones, and they had that hanging out of the case. But other than that, it looks original. Oh, what's this here? Uh-oh. That can't be good. I see something broken. And it looks like it's part of this band switch right here. Let me see if I can take the camera off and show you that. Be right back. So I found this piece of wafer board floating around in there, and if you look down here at the band switch, right there, looks like it's cracked. Looks like something's broken in there. So we're going to have to fix that. So we're going to leave that piece right in there for now. But we've got original caps in here. Here's our filter cap. No one's touched this thing. No one's been in here. Aside from that, I don't see any damage. Oh wait, oh look at this here. Someone used the old medical tape to try and fix the volume knob that's floating around. Interesting. Look at this here. Using this tape that they use on bandages. Maybe it's from, maybe the guy that had this was an EMT or something. Interesting. Oh yeah, this thing is broken on the rivets. So this thing looks like it was dropped on its face at some point and pushed in these knobs. No problem, we can fix that. And the same thing is true on this knob here. It's all gone. The plastic that holds it in, this is supposed to be pulled out like this. So we're going to have to figure out how to fix that. Piece of cake, no big deal. I do have a little bit of rust here, which will come out really easy with the navel jelly. And this chassis does look like it removes here. So I should be able to take the chassis out. So I think my biggest challenge is going to be getting these knobs fixed. Replacing all these caps, these wax caps, that's a piece of cake. And I'll have to check the resistors and see if there's any out of tolerance. Let me see what kind of filter cap we have on this thing. It's like a standard 60-40, 40-20, looks like it. Yep, so no big deal on that. That's easy to fix. Just put a terminal strip in there and we're good. So that's what we have here. So we're going to have a little bit of repair work on this thing, right? On this band switch and this on and off switch. Aside from that, the dial is all intact. Looks great. This is great. The case, not a lot of rust. But yeah, that's the story. So where I'm going to be next is to remove the chassis out of here and see if I can assess the damage in here and figure out what I'm going to do to fix it. I already have a few ideas that are floating in my head, but we'll let you know what we come up with on that. So that's going to be the first episode of our Hallicrafters S38-B, and hope you follow along. If any of you have one of these, let me know, by the way. Be interesting to see who has one of these. I know this was an entry-level radio, relatively inexpensive. Anyway, that's where we are. See you in the next episode. This is Ron.